educational research book by R. Berg Johnson and Larry Christensen. बड़ी ही फेमस और बहुत ही अच्छी किताब है. It's a very good one, a very famous book. And in this video lecture we are going to discuss chapter number 4, how to review literature and develop research questions. Basically this chapter is not just about literature review. This is a very interesting chapter. From this chapter number 4 of this book, actually the story begins for doing the practical task and the practical research that begins from this chapter. Because sometime, for example, I had an idea in my mind that if we want to teach English language to those people who already know Arabic grammar, so we should use GTM, grammar translation method, and we should teach English using grammatical methods and grammatical structures to teach those people who already know Arabic grammar, because the pattern of that is very much grammar based. So if I want now to make a research for this is merely a research idea. It's not a purely a research one that you can say in the technical terms, but actually this is just an idea. Now the question is, this chapter step by step takes us towards the way where we can put our ideas into concrete form of technical, like research question, research topic we can generate after completing this chapter. You will become able to put your ideas into concrete form of a research paper or a thesis writing. So this is a beginning point. This chapter is just the beginning that gives you technique and to make your topic clear from the way ideas that you have in your minds. So where does the research idea come from? It's actually real life research. For example, there is a famous book that there is a myth of poor area school, that those students who come from rural backgrounds or from a low cultural backgrounds or from poor class, so those students cannot be taught well. They cannot perform well even if you put all your efforts on them. This is just a myth. This is just an idea. But there was a researcher who thought that there is a school that can create good results and grades for those students who came from poor and backward areas. So there arises a question that we should make a research why which type of strategies this school used to produce good result or grades for those who come from a poor background. So what happened to that? So either you will agree with the statement or not, and you have a problem for all the schools and for poor background students that you want to solve. So if you have a problem in hand that is in need of solution, that's the beginning of research. So if you got a problem in need of solution, it's the beginning of research. But this is not actually the research. These are just vague ideas that we come across many times in our daily lives in different situations. If you are a teacher, you have many problems with your students, you have many questions in your minds, you have many issues to be resolved. But all these things cannot be put into research unless we create some researchable question. We have to develop, and this is a complete process, a chain. Step by step we reach to that point where we can create this research question. Now the story begins when you agree or disagree with something, and then you want to prove it by doing some empirical research. Okay, here is the basic question. What are the sources of research ideas? How does our mind catch some idea that I should do research on this? Many students in our universities and colleges around the world who are joining our online sessions and classes, so we come across the issue that many students, they want to do research, they want to publish their research articles, but they say, suggest me a topic for the article. I don't know which topic I should do. So keep in your mind, what are the sources of research ideas? Where do the research ideas come from? The first one is everyday life. So, in your life around you, you come across many problems. For example, if you are living in an area where there is no electricity and no basic needs, so how does it affect the academic achievements of the students, their social circumstances and economic conditions? And if you want to teach those who are reading in religious madrasas and reading Islamic knowledge and having a fine understanding of Arabic grammar rules, so how you can teach them English in a better way that is easy for them and convenient for them? You will take 10 students as a sample and you will do work on them and you can conduct research. So in everyday life you come across many things that you can get your ideas from. Today I was teaching at a university in Pakistan, and in my class a student said that I want to do research on breakups. So after the romantic affairs, breakups, what happens? So that was an interesting thing that she wanted to explore through her research. But I asked her to narrow her topic and limit her topic because it's too vast. Okay, but that was actually a vague idea, and you have to put it into some researchable technical thing. Then your ideas of research come from the practical issues. For example, which type of syllabus is good for your students, and you have to choose one. So you make researches on the basis of results. In those researches you decide something that is highly important. So when you are facing some practical issues, so you can do researches on them. The other thing is past research, because when you read some research articles and some other researches made by other researchers, you will find many lackings, gaps, and there are also portions in other researches that tell you which future areas can be researched and can be investigated in this same study. So from those past researches you can get future research ideas. And the fourth one are theories. So when we have a theory, that theory gives more explanation of some phenomenon. So we can use some theories to explore the aspects of that theory into some piece of literature or a piece of text. We can make those analysis on the basis of that theory as well, because in theories we find many ideas. So theory can also provide your research ideas. These are the four sources where you can get your research ideas, and you can generate ideas by using these sources. You can generate your ideas. You can think about your daily life issues, your practical issues, and you can go through. If you are interested in some area, some topic, you can read the researches made in that area, and those past researches can lead you towards the generation of a new topic of research. Now, what happens when you get an idea to continue? So what you do? So there are few steps, the technical things that after doing these things you can initiate your research easily, because that will make you ready to send your research proposal to universities around the world for your MPhil and PhD studies. So here is a chart of the development of a research idea, that how a research idea, that is just an idea in your mind, you can develop it into some researchable question, and then you can formulate a hypothesis, and then you can make a research on that. Here are some technical things. The first one is research topic. So this is the broad subject matter area to be investigated. For example, breakups. For example, students learning and effective ways of learning. So this is the main topic, but then you have to come across research problem, the issue or problem within a broad topic area. In that broad topic area that you have chosen, now you have to look for that which type of problem is there that you are facing, and you want to find a solution, or you want to explain it in different way. Then there is research purpose or objective of the research. This is a technical statement that shows the intention or objective of the study. Then there is research question. In quantitative research, this question asks about the relationship between two or more variables. But in qualitative research, it asks a question about some process, some issue, some phenomenon to be explored. You have to explore a phenomena, something, some theory. But in quantitative, you give a relationship between two variables and the question is relevant to that. And then after questioning, you create an answer that we can say hypothesis. You have to suppose something. You have to predict something that it will happen. A prediction or best guess of the relation that exists among the variables being investigated. So you create a hypothesis that if this happens, it will affect this in this way. So you create a relationship. Now let's look one by one all these things with examples. So research topic. This is the main subject matter area. For example, we want to study that the class size affect on effective learning. So this is the main research topic, that how the size of class, mean number of students in the class, how it affects effective learning. If there are 10 students, they can gain more attention, but if there are 50, the attention will be divided and they can have less effective learning. So the main topic is the class size effect on effective learning. And then we have to go for research problem. It's an issue or the problem that we want to seek solution for and we want to make research on. It's within that broad topic area. So in stating a quantitative research problem, the emphasis is on the need to explain, predict or statistically describe some outcome or some event. But in qualitative study, it focuses on understanding the inner world of a particular group or exploring some process, event or phenomenon. It focuses on some group and its inner situation to understand it. But in quantitative, the research problem gives some sort of prediction, explanation, and statistically describes some outcome or event that it will happen. Here is an example of research problem in qualitative study. So Otionos, 2001, this is a wonderful research article. And in that introduction, the researcher says, introduction to her qualitative study of educational experiences of 7 African women. So this researcher made wonderful problem, she elaborated. And what was this article about? It was about 7 African women and their educational experiences. It was a study of that how women are not given equal opportunities for study like in African culture. The next very important thing is purpose of a research study. This is very important. Why you are making this research, what you are going to identify, what you are going to explore. This is the researcher's intent or objective of the study. So it's a declarative statement identifying type of relationship being investigated in variables. So which type of relationship? It can be causal or it can be descriptive. Causal means it gives cause and effect relationship between two variables, but descriptive means something else. So here the first one is example of descriptive. So here is the purpose of a research. The purpose of this study is to describe the degree of relationship that exists between spelling proficiency and the extent of a person's learning disability. So how a person's learning disability affects his spelling proficiency, which type of relationship is there, how much relationship is there, it is described in this form of descriptive. Then there is causal, that shows cause and effect relationship. The purpose of this study is to investigate the effect that treatment for a learning disability has on the spelling proficiency of children with a learning disability. So, how the treatment of learning disability students can affect and improve their spelling proficiency. So, it is a discussion. So, we want to show the effect of a cause, and this is our purpose of study. If you want to write your purpose of study for qualitative study, then you should indicate that the intent of the study is to explore or understand some phenomenon. Either you want to understand that why this issue happens in our society, why affairs and relationships are broken up, so what are the factors behind them. You want to explore, you want to understand. Experienced by certain individuals at a specific research site. You don't have, when you want to explore that why relationships are broken up, you don't have to look for the whole world and for all the love affairs that why they're broken up, not at all. You just have to explore how it was experienced by some specific individuals at some specific research site. For example, you can choose all your class fellows at your university and you can make a research on them, and this will be the phenomenon that why breakups happen and what happens after that, how it's experienced by some students in BS 7 and you can say master's third semester at a private university in Pakistan. So you have to actually make a limit. So convey a sense of emerging design. In the purpose, you should show that it's an emerging thing, it's a new thing that you are going to do. Then you have to state and define the central idea. For example, what you are going to research, you are going to show that the cultural cultural crisis in our society that does not allow the people to have affairs in our society, those cultural issues you want to nominate and you want to explore. So that will be the main thing, the central idea. You have to state and define the central idea. You can also add the method of your research in the purpose with a few words or phrases. So the method can be of various types. So which type of method you are using? We shall have now a practical presentation of this, how to create your research purpose or your research objective. And you can also add the unit of analysis or research site, the people involved in research, or the area like a university, like a hospital ward and hospital surgical unit, that the people there are in, you just want to make research on them. So you have to add the unit of analysis or the research site, the area where you are doing research. Before looking into this one, look first at this one. So this is the way how you put sentences by stating the purpose of this. Then you can use this casual study, this descriptive study. You can say, you can use different types of adjective here, that which type of study it is. So the purpose of this study is to, and then you can say identify or to explain the, or you can say to explore, or you can say to examine. So this is basically your main objective and purpose. And after that, then here you will add that what you are going to identify, like the breakups in among Pakistani university students in co-education or something like that. The main topic will come here. Then here you can add participant, and after add the name you can add your research site or the place that you are making research on, like a university, like a playground, like a hospital. Now keeping in view this structure, look into this one. This is a research purpose by a writer. Now look carefully. The focus of the present study was to explore distressing and nurturing encounters of patients. So this is the main topic. that distrusting and nurturing encounters of patients, this one he has to study. But what is the purpose? To explore. He has to explore this thing and to ascertain the meanings that are engendered by such encounter. And also the purpose of the study is to ascertain. And to ascertain what? The research topic is the meanings that are engendered by such encounter. So the study was conducted on one of the surgical units. So this is the research site, or you can say the research participants, and the obstetrical gynecological unit of a 374 bed community hospital. So this is the place or the site where the research actually is to be carried out. Then we have research question. What is this? You might have some vague type of concept which are indefinite, which are not much clear in your mind. You can have many ideas that you want to make research, but you cannot actually do research until and unless you have got some research questions in your minds. You have to formulate a proper official statement of the question that you want to answer through empirical research. And empirical means experiment based, that by following a proper method of research, the scientific one, you have to find the answer. That is your question. So you can create question about the relationship that exists between two or more variables. A question about some process, it can be about issue, phenomenon to be explored. So the first one is about quantitative, and the second one is for the qualitative research. A question should be asked about process, issue, or phenomena that you are going to explore. Tends to restate the purpose of research in question form. So actually question is just the repetition of purpose, that what you are going to do. It's a restatement in another way in the form of a question. Like, what is the relationship between amount of time studied and grades for high school students? So there are two variables, amount of time that was spent on studies and grades for high school students. So what is the relationship between that? So you have to explore, you have to find out this relationship, that how much this factor, the amount of time, affects the grades for high school students. So it can be in this way a research question that you have to formulate before going for your actual research. If you have clear concepts, if you have clear research questions in your mind, then you can have a very good research on the basis of that. Then there is hypothesis, the last part of this process, how a research idea develops finally into some sort of statement that we call hypothesis. It's a formal statement, an official statement following proper rules and techniques of the researcher's prediction. What researcher predicts, what he says that it will happen, of the relationship that exists among the variables under investigation. So it's capable, a hypothesis must be capable of being either confirmed or not confirmed. So this is the basic quality of a hypothesis, that it can be either confirmed or it cannot be. So it can be true or wrong. Primarily important in quantitative study, hypothesis is more important in quantitative study. Here is an example. Children with learning disabilities who receive individual instruction will show greater gains. Now this is the prediction, that those students with learning disabilities, if they are given individual attention and instruction, they will show greater gains. They will learn faster, they will learn more in academic achievement in their studies than those children with learning disabilities. Okay, so those who have learning disabilities, but there are someone who get specific individual attention and instruction, they get higher grades. So this is a hypothesis, this is a statement, yes, this happens, this is a prediction. Now you have to make research either to confirm it or not to confirm it. So there can be both ways. You may confirm it, that yes, this is true, that the children with learning disabilities, with individual instruction and attention, show greater gains. Okay, you can make hypothesis from common observation. So actually your research idea develops finally into hypothesis. So let us sum up. We can sum it up by saying we had a research topic, then we talked about research problem, then research objectives, and then we talked about research question, and the fifth one was hypothesis. But before going into all this, there is the one very important shortcut and something that is of much significance for a researcher to begin with. That is literature review. So if you make up your mind to do research work on some idea, first you have to think and ask yourself which type of other researches have already been made in this area. So first you have to go through all the literature available on that particular subject that you are going to research now. If you are making researches on children with learning disabilities and their learning processes, so there might be thousands of research articles and books and magazine journals and many things written on that and made research on that. So first you have to go through that, because it can stimulate questions. When you will study that, it will help you to formulate your research objective, your research questions, even your research hypothesis. So it can provide information about situations and populations. By reading the previous researches already made on this topic will help you to find out which type of populations they used for that type of study. And in literature review, you introduce all those works which already have been written and made researches on that topic by writing the name of the writer and the year of publication. And there is actually a complete process of how you have to add the reference, and in our another lecture on APA style format, you will learn how to add referencing in APA style. But for now, keep in your view that you have to say, for example, and that was a particular article that investigated the same issue from 10 students from China or something like that, and another article. For this purpose, for creating literature review, you just have to read basically the abstracts and the writers and the years of publication for referencing. You just have to quickly go through all that. You can go on Google Scholars, you can go for ERIC, and you can go or for other search engines for finding our research articles and books already written on that topic. So you have to give a complete information or overview of what those writers did in just few sentences. You have to sum up their whole research one by one. So literature review is to gain an understanding of the current state of knowledge about your research topic. So what is the current state of knowledge for your specific topic that you are going to make research for? And literature review means going through all the literature already available on your topic, will also tell whether the problem already been researched. So you come across many times with the situations that the topic that you want to research already have been researched out. And literature review can point out methodological problems as well, like for example, can identify appropriate data collection instruments, they can tell you, and which type of methods were not usable in that. So it can tell you about these issues, that data collection instruments which are difficult to be used in that particular situation. for which type of research questionnaire was the best one, and survey was the best one, and personal interviews were the best one. So the previous researches on that topic, when you want to make any research, first you should collect data for your literature review. You have to compose your literature review. You have to go through all the available material and research papers on your topic, so that you may begin after that and not repeating the same thing. What are the sources of information? Now, if we want to make this section of literature review, where you can find out the articles and books for how to find out that which type of work and how many works have already been done on your topic. So the first source of information are books. If you read the books on that topic, books no doubt they are sometimes outdated, but they in their bibliography section and other things, they can tell you that how many other works have been written on that topic. They can also give you a deep insight to that topic, a very deep study and understanding of the phenomena. So you should also consult the books written on that topic. Then you should go through the journals, research journals, where you can find out the relevant article written on the same topic or a bit similar one. And the third and the most common tool and very important in and you can say 21st century that we are living. So I'm not sure the people to come in future centuries will be able to watch these lectures of mine or not, but I hope so. For the time being, this generation, I hope so, will follow all these lectures, and these instructions are going to help you a lot in your academic studies. But a very common tool that you can use for finding out your relevant research paper and to create your literature review is internet database. So here are some famous database: ERIC, ERIC, database containing information, and then there is Ch.4, and then SocIndex, and the Business Source, Premier. There are many databases where you can search so many articles, and there are also Google Scholar that you can go through, and there are many other websites and the ways that you can find all the articles written on some related topic. So these are the internet research engines that give you an easy and quick access to all the relevant material that you need. So you can just write your topic and you will find out all available research articles on that topic. From that you can generate your literature review, where you introduce all those things which have been written on that. You give just few sentences to say. So in next lectures, or I will show you the literature review practically. I think I should show it right now. Oh, I think it will make you bored. The length of lecture is already too much, so I will share it with you in some other video lectures. Now here is an exercise for you. You have to develop a quantitative research question by answering the following. First, you have to think an idea in your mind. Then you have to create my topic area is. You have to write your topic. Then research problem within this topic area are. There can be multiple research problems under that topic that you can go through. Then you have to elaborate the purpose of my study is. Here you have to write the purpose, the proper format of purpose writing I have already shared with you. Then my research question is. In this section you have to put the research question that you have created. And the last one is my hypothesis is. In this section you have to generate some hypothesis related to your topic. So this is the exercise. This is a very practical one. Keep in your view that just by watching the videos and just reading the ideas of research cannot make you a good researcher. If you want to become a good researcher, if you want to publish your research papers, if you want to go through your academic research requirements at your universities, in whichever country you are in the world, keep in your view you need to practice. You have to practically do these easy steps that you have first to do. You have to define your topic, your research problem, your purpose of study, your research question, and your hypothesis. And obviously you have to generate a literature review for that. That will be very much beneficial to you for creating all these things as well. So now just keep silence, just think in your mind which is the area that you are interested in, that you would like to make a research on, and start doing your research. Wish you very best of luck for your success in publication of your research article and thesis. Always keep me in your prayers. Take care. Goodbye.